Hi, I'm Davis, sans Andy. Since we kind of messed up all of our amnesia this week, I decided I didn't want to leave you guys hanging. So today you're getting a very special behind the scenes look at how I create episodes of Game Grazers. So right now we are starting out on working on Punch Out Week 2. I've done a little bit of legwork ahead of this, but for the most part we are going to be completing a full episode 4 tonight. So we'll get here later on, but I want to show you at least the beginning basics of how I do this. So this is just going to be a little kind of ranty as I go along. There's no real structure. This isn't really a tutorial, but maybe you can glean some tips and techniques out of this. So I'm going to start out by taking the Punch Out Week to raw.mp4, which is the raw gameplay for the week. And this is 3 episodes of Punch Out. We always record 3 episodes of 2 games each week in single sessions. So here is the raw, and then we also want to get this Punch Out Week to clean.wave. So the underscore clean indicates I've run this through Audition. It's down here, and that I have run it through some processes. I've removed any background noise. I've normalized and equalized and compressed and all sorts of other things that basically kind of make the audio just sound generally nicer.
Iron Dragon.
Oh, sorry. All right, so we're going to bring this in. And I always like to make sure I can see my my peaks. It's a little less important on the game. So here, and the next thing I want to do is come in and we're going to take the volume of the gameplay, not the spoken audio, but the gameplay audio. And we basically pump it down pretty far so that when we're listening, you want to hear us rather than the game. I mean, you still want to hear the game, but you really want to hear us.
Good, thank you, Andy.
Yep, no problem. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, you are here for many reasons, including exceedingly colorful commentary.
Right.
All right, so there you can hear that we are coming in loud and clear over the gameplay. That's sort of the main thrust of that particular thing. Now, another major thing to note is we'll just kind of come here in the middle of the episode. So here you can see I'm fighting
I think he's from Super Punch Out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
or maybe I can find a better example.
no, he's Irish. Sure and Bagora.
So there you can hear that we're talking about he's Irish, but we already know he's Irish. We've seen him for long enough now and heard him for long enough now to know he's Irish. This means that the video and the audio aren't in sync. Again, a little bit of legwork. You'll notice that these have little markers on them. And if I come before the markers and we just listen to the audio of me talking.
Load, delete, back, load, delete, back, delete, load.
All right, so what the fuck am I talking about? So if I come back here before this dot and we do the solo on that. Oh, look, those kind of correlate to what I was talking about. So let's just go ahead and drag these over real quick. I always recommend using markers for pretty much anything because they are just a lifesaver in making sure that you get exactly what you want, exactly where you want it. So if I come back here. Oh.
Back, load, delete, back, delete, load. Punch Out!
So now you can see that what I'm talking about and what's happening on screen are related to each other. So let's check this out.
Is he German too? Oh,
No.
he's Irish.
Ah, see, now that makes much more sense. So now we can see that the gameplay footage and the audio are in check. And actually, we even do the same sync sequence or something similar to it at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is can make sure that the gameplay from start to finish is going to match up.
Yeah.
I gotta sync.
Up. So here, I'm going to sync now.
Rematch. Quit. Rematch. Quit. Rematch. Quit. Hi, Doc. Okay, now you can stop recording.
Okay, so there you can hear and see that, yeah, the gameplay footage from start to finish is in sync with how we are talking. So now that that's synced up, the next major thing we want to do is figure out where our episodes are. Like I said, there's 3 episodes in this almost 42-minute stretch of video. Again, I've done some legwork, but we're going to go ahead and find it. So I know that these moments of silence usually indicate where we are. I've also have a little page of time codes that I use. Sorry, I have to have some water real quick. Again, I don't like editing things too drastically, so you're just gonna give me drinking water on occasion because my throat's dry.
Hi, I'm Davis.
And I'm Andy.
And we're the Game Grazers.
All right, so that is the start of an episode. One of my favorite keyboard shortcuts in Premiere is M for marker. It adds a tiny little marker that I can click either here or here, and it will just snap me right to that moment. So this is the start of my episode. Now we're going to go and try and find the end. I know this episode's a little shorter than normal. It's usually somewhere about in the 13-minute mark. I want to get it close as I fucking want to. I don't know if that's it or not. Nah, I'm not sure. I know this is just, it's terrible, isn't it? Anyway, so like I said, I've already gone down in some of the lifting. One thing I want to show you real quick is we're going to go here. This is the start of the episode. And I'm going to hit Control K. So you can see this kind of cuts everything. It's snapped. There it is. I can come over here and just flat out see.
Hi, I'm Davis.
And I'm Andy.
And we're the
That's the start of my episode. But like I said, I've already done some heavy lifting. So actually here is everything I have cut. Here is episode 4, 5, and 6. So one of the things I do want to show you is I also mark the end of the audio. So if you come in here and I were to take this.
Oh my God, you ready? You can.
So there's a little bit of dialogue that occurs sort of in between episodes. It's just as we kind of wait. But I don't want to necessarily be out there.
Let's see you next time.
He likes chocolate.
Not that I'm judging. I never judge. Thanks for listening.
So there we go. That is the end of where I want Andy to talk. So now we're going to just take this kind of segment and we're going to highlight it. And we're going to say, I want to make a sub sequence. So over here in the bin, it creates punch out week 2 raw sub 1. But this is actually going to end up being punch outs _ episode 04. But I've already made that. So we're not going to use the one I just made. In fact, we're going to go ahead and use this one. These markers are going to be something we're going to come back to in a moment. So here is the entirety of the episode that we want to make. I'm going to go ahead and close these out. So the first thing I always want to do to any episode is I want to add the intro and the outro. And this is where the opening bit of, hi, I'm Davis, I'm Andy, and this is usually where it's next time on Game Grazers. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go in here. I want to go into my core items. And I want to import this file I have called Motion Graphics. This is a file I've made that contains standard versions of all the major motion graphics I use, including the intros, the outros, and any of the little text or image fly-ins that occur. This, and I want to import the entire project. So this is basically a dirty, cheap way of ensuring that I get the same consistent style to everything that I want. So here you can see I have Andy plays and I have Davis plays. And since I am the one playing Punch Out, we want to grab this. So if I play this, this is just the straight up raw. Here's Davis, here's Andy. It's the Game Grazers, player select, Davis plays. Everything you expect from a lovely, awesome, professional Game Grazers opening. So we're going to go ahead and copy this bad boy and we're going to come back out to the main timeline. So we want to make sure this V1 on the side is clicked. This allows us to actually pull items in from the bin. Oh, sorry. Time for more water. Isn't it awesome listening to me drink water? So the main thing okay, where were we? Davis plays, right? And we want to add a few tracks. So this kind of allows us to make sure everything gets in. Now, since we copied that, we want to paste it. So on these bars, this indicates the lines or the layers where you want to paste things. So we want to make sure we don't overwrite the raw footage. So you want to make sure that V2 is where you are. And then we're going to go ahead, scroll a little further so I can see directly where I start. And I paste. And there it is. There is all of that lovely opening. And because we have a different cadence every single time we do this, and we want to make sure that each individual element of me, of Andy, and Game Grazers appears as they're said, we're going to go ahead and time these up. And usually I just do this by scrubbing along. And there's Andy. And we just kind of pull him in. So I know that Andy and I are going to stop at the same time. Sorry about that text. And there is we're the Game Grazers. So we're going to make sure that this all comes along for the ride. Because I always want to make sure that from the start of the Game Grazers also indicates the end of everything else. That is my lovely wife going to bed. Thank you, my lovely wife. I love you so much. I'm going to text her back real quick. You're still going to know that. And I'll come back. And all right. Sorry about that little distraction. So the other thing I have is this color mat, which creates this faded background aspect going on. So we want to make sure that this marker just indicates they all kind of line up to that. And then I want to make sure that it starts where Davis comes in. So I drag the keyframes, which I'll go over in a moment. And oops, that's the wrong thing. Then we'll just kind of tidy up and we'll have a lovely super duper Game Grazers intro.
Hi, I'm Davis.
And I'm Andy.
And we're the Game Grazers.
And we are done.
Oh, but there's this thing. The subtitle joke, which changes every single episode, it's one of our nice little touches, is another thing we do. So there are multiple ways to kind of deal with titles and making sure you don't like step over original ones. The way I like to do it is I hold Alt and I drag the item on the timeline. So you'll see I made subtitle joke copy 01. Delete the original, pull that back down. Burp in the microphone again. And there is the subtitle joke. So now today's joke is you'll never get me Lucky Charms. Since we're fighting Aaron Ryan today. So there you go. Like I said, nice.
I'm Andy.
And we're the Game Grazers.
And we are done flamencoing our way through Punch-Out.
Yes.
All right. So there is the intro. The next is the outro, where we say, next time on Game Grazers. So you'll notice I have this handy pre-built sequence. I'm going to open it up that has everything in it. But you'll notice we're not playing Portal. So this is a kind of a trick I use. I want to keep the Portal one in here for two reasons. One, I know I'm not playing Portal. We're not playing Portal anymore. So I want to make sure if I see Portal, something ain't right. So we're actually going to make a quick new bin called images. And we're going to import from my Punch-Out folder. We're going to bring in this one. And we have this nice transparent copy of the Punch-Out logo. I'm going to show it to you real quick. There it is. So if you right click on an item on the timeline, you have an option called replace with clip. And we want to replace the clip from the bin. This indicates that we want to replace this clip on the timeline with this clip from the bin. And there you go. So now we have this handy dandy, lovely pre-built last, next, title, subscribe, and Game Grazers logo. So we don't even have to copy this out like we did for the intro because this is static. So we're going to come back out here to the main timeline. Come on. There we go.
Oh, no.
And we want to listen for that magic next time on Game Grazers moment.
Okay, so I'm going to finish him next time on Game.
There it is. And we're just going to open up the motion graphics and then grab the next time and plop this in. It always comes with this extra audio that has nothing in it, but it kind of gets in the way. So I'm just going to unlink it and delete the non-existent audio.
On Game Grazers.
That's right. We're gonna hold you over and let's see you next time.
And there it is. So the other thing then I'll do is I'll get to the end of wherever our audio is, and we're going to go ahead and just append about 10 seconds rounded up. And we're going to do Control K, cut everything, and delete. And there is our outro.
Next time on Game Grazers.
That's right. We're gonna hold
So I really cannot mention like how much of a time saver these are. I can get the same quality every single time, and just generally have a really well done bit. So I highly recommend, if you can, create an external file with any of these sort of motion graphics you would like to use and just have it go. So, but just for kind of a quick example, I want to show you one thing. So we're going to come into the title editor here. And if I scroll down, you'll see I have a pre-built couple things. This is what I use for next best ofs. This is what I use when I die a lot. And this is the sort of standard general Game Grazers thing. We're not actually editing that, so we're just going to pop back out, and that's fine. So I do have a saved version of this, so I can make sure that I always get this lovely Game Grazers green gradient text every single time without having to worry about fidgeting up. So now let's talk about the markers I have pre-placed on the timeline. So when I add things to the screen, I call it flare. So typically, as part of the process of creating these episodes, I listen to the 15-minute episodes and mark down areas where I want to add something to the screen, just to kind of add that extra little bit of visual touch. Delicious water. I was going to try and be fancy, but I don't feel like it. Okay, so let's see what we have here.
Snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Snakes on a plane.
Charms.
Lucky Charms.
Fucking die.
Me getting my ass handed to me by Soda Popinski.
And I'm going to see Soda Popinski.
And afraid I was going to see Soda Popinski in Star Wars. Since you've already seen this episode, hopefully if you watched it yesterday, this is nothing of a surprise. Everything here is as you would expect. So we're going to start out. So sometimes I just have general pictures, or sometimes I Photoshop some stuff up, but it's not my intent to teach you Photoshop tonight. So I've actually gone ahead and we're going to just go ahead. There's snakes on a plane. There's my Soda Popinski and my Lucky Charms. We're just going to go ahead and import these. I've already made them. So you can see I've added Aaron Ryan into the box of Lucky Charms. And I've put Soda Popinski all over the Force Awakens poster. So now we're going to add these in. Now, if you're just like, okay, I just want to add these in. So that's a little bit big, and we can probably come in here and we're like, okay, we're going to scale it down. Wait, no, I did something wrong. So, okay. You have to highlight the item you want to edit because I'm dumb. And so I'm going to scale it down, and it's got a rotation, and it has to start. So now we're going to teach you about keyframes. You would normally like, okay, I want to do a keyframe, and it's over here, and then I would go back here, and it flies off the screen. So this is what a keyframe does. So a keyframe indicates you want something to start at one location, and then you want it to end at another. And then it goes through a process called tweening. The computer interpolates this point to that point, and it makes it move on screen. But doing this over and over again is exceedingly tedious, which is why I have created a folder in my motion graphics called Flying Items. Except I'm using the wrong thing here. This was Snakes on a Plane. So we're actually going to do an image with a caption. And if I play this lovely clip, you can see I have everything pre-built. The tweens are already in there, and they're at a predetermined length, and I can basically just copy and paste and replace these things as I want to. So same thing with Portal. This is my buddy Nathan. He's a fantastic guy. He wears awesome Saiyan armor, and I have this lorem ipsum, which is in print design, is used to sort of fill in just random blurbs of Latin that says, hey, here's what text would look like on this page, without actually having to write text. So I don't want either of these things, but I do want what's in here. So this is everything as I've pre-built it. So I'm going to copy this out, come back out, and we're going to paste this in. So now when I come in here,
Go beat Ibu on his ass.
I've had it with these
Snakes on this motherfucking plane.
so that's not what I want. As much as I love you, Nathan, I don't want to see you there. In fact, I want to see motherfucking Samuel L. Jackson. So same thing. We're going to highlight the item in the bin that we want. Right click the item in the timeline, which is the Saiyan.jpg. And we're going to replace the clip from the bin. So there is Sam Jackson. And here is some placeholder text that comes from my motion graphics folder. but we don't want to keep using this one. We want to duplicate this so we don't like accidentally step on everything. So again, Alt drag up, which I kind of just did without telling you. Delete the old one, pull this down. So now this is its own individual thing. It won't impact any other text. And now we're going to say, I've had it with these motherfucking Game Grazers. And we're going to come in here and take a look again.
With these
Snakes on this motherfucking plane. That's one of his best works.
So, and then we'll just kind of make sure. I'm going to, oops, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that. Control Z. So we're going to pull this over so it starts when I talk.
I've had it with these
Snakes on this motherfucking plane.
So that's where I want it to end. So if I come back in here and I'm going to pick up the text, we're going to grab these outro keyframes and sync them up. And then we're going to do the same thing on the image. So that now this is going to leave a little bit earlier.
I've had it with these
Snakes on this motherfucking plane.
So there we go. There is our first bit of flair for the episode. So now we're going to move on to the next one, which was the Lucky Charms. So there we're just going to use our image fly-in. I'm going to copy this. So here you can see the animation on the image is a little different. This flies in from the side with a little spin. It lingers so you can get a good look at it, and then it's off. So we're just going to grab that, come back, and find a good moment to start it.
Oh, he's going to find his...
So there we go. He's going to find his Lucky Charms. We're going to grab our Lucky Charms, and we're just going to replace clip from bin. Notice a trend there.
He's going to find his Lucky Charms.
Now that's a bit small. So since scale is not keyframed, I'm just going to go ahead and jork that up real quick.
He's going to find his Lucky Charms. So after playing it,
So there we go.
he's going to find his Lucky Charms.
Now, again, Andy kind of stops talking, so we're just going to come here where this is no longer relevant, and away it goes.
He's going to find his Lucky Charms.
And there we go. So next one we have is good old Soda Popinski, literally almost popping my head off a lot.
Ow.
Well, you
Ow.
didn't have to do it just to show me the sound.
Ow. Ow. Fucking dodge.
What?
So, so I'm getting my ass handed to me. Now, I don't have an image for this moment. Just, I kind of want to comment on what's going on. So here we're going to use a text fly-in. So there we go. There's Lorem Ipsum again. So, and like the same as always, this is pre-built with its tweens, its rotation, the scale I want it at. And this is perfect. This is exactly what I want and how I want it. So we're going to copy that out, come back out to the main punch out thing, and we're going to paste right into the timeline. And again, we're going to alt drag so we're not impending on the original placeholder text. So this way we always know what we have is a brand new fresh copy. We're not muddling with anything. So, okay, since I can't really ask you for opinion, I'm just going to kind of sit here and think. It's just sort of, I'm going to like, oh my God, why can't you just, and then we're going to do dodge. We're just going to pull a good old DBZ abridged, and we're going to pump that text up. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to position it vertical center. So that's nice and centered up. Then we're going to come out here and
Fucking dodge.
What is happening?
Ow!
Have we?
And there it is. So we're going to grab this, pull it in. And here we go of Soda Popinski beating the shit out of me.
Ow! Ow! Fucking dodge.
What is happening?
Ow!
Have we completely lost your signal on your controller or what?
And there it is. So we've now got 3 entire pieces of flair without any much having to finagle with tweens. So we're going to come back in and we're going to add one more image fly in. Grab the cyan.jpg again. And we're going to paste her right in there. And we're going to replace this with the lovely Soda Wars image that I have. Again, that's too small. We're going to crank that beast up. And we're going to find a good moment to start it.
I don't, I'm scared. I'm scared I'm going to see Soda Popinski.
Oh shit.
We're going to check that out real quick.
Let's get it on record. What's the scariest thing that you're worried that you're going to see?
I don't. I'm scared I'm going to see Soda Popinski.
Oh, shit. He TKO'd you. Okay, alright.
All right, so there we go. So if we scroll all the way back out here, we have our 4 pieces of flair, which is actually more than most episodes ever get.
Hi, I'm Davis.
And I'm Andy.
And we're the Game Grazers.
And that is an episode of Game Grazers. Then we would come in here, I would probably right click on this and I would export, but I'm not going to here show you export settings. So there you go. That is how I make Game Grazers. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any interest in kind of me doing more tutorial-ish things, if you want actually more specific tutorials like, you know, keyboard shortcuts, how to properly do tweening, or any other kind of sorts of things, how I do the audio or whatever, feel free to send us a comment and let us know. And hopefully this will not be the last of behind the scenes on Game Grazers. So speaking of that, I will see you
next time
on Game
That's
Grazers.
right. We're gonna hold you over and let's see you next time.
He likes chocolate.
All right. You guys take care. Bye-bye.